Hi Leo, welcome to your November 2018 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. So I've started this reading several times, and what's one more time, right? So let's get right to it. This deck that I'm using is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, so just in case you were interested. The overall theme is the Five of Wands. So this is an energy that is about competition, whether it's in the workplace, where you feel like you're always kind of having to prove yourself, and it's kind of a dog-eat-dog environment. Or it could be like a healthy competitive challenge, where you... And this could even be just like sports, that you're doing some kind of exhibition, like a weightlifting competition or something along those lines, where it involves athletics, but it's a competition. Because this is fire energy, and it can be something that is you competing against somebody else, or groups of people, probably it would be. And this can be in personal relationships as well, where there is somebody in your life, maybe a partner, who feels threatened by your success and might be saying little digs to try to cut you down to size because they feel insecure. And if that's true, you have to decide whether or not that person is really worthwhile to have in your life, because it could be quite negative to be around this person. This can also be some kind of inheritance issue where everybody wants a piece of the pie and they're fighting one another. When you have this kind of combative energy, there could be a lot of egos clashing, and people who are not willing to compromise, they can only see their point of view. The heart of the matter is the Judgment card, and this is connected to Pluto, the planet Pluto. And this could be that this is a legal situation, so I just mentioned inheritance, or maybe a divorce. And so it's kind of like the lawyers could be involved, and the lawyers might be fighting one another, and the siblings might be fighting one another, and it's just a lot of conflict. And with the Judgment card too, we're talking about karma, and karma is simply action. So what you sow, so shall you reap. And that could be coming back in some way. That something that was done in the past is now having to be answered for. And so an example would be if this is an inheritance and somebody is upset because they're not getting what they thought they were getting, but they were not there. Maybe they kind of showed up all of a sudden. They thought that they were going to inherit some money, and they really weren't in this person's life. Well, then they have to learn. But it's something that affects you in some way, though. So unless that was you, then I don't see that that would be the scenario. I think with this, it could simply be that this is a legal judgment that is at hand. It can also be, in terms of karma, that you simply have to look at it in terms of, well, this happened and so this is the result, and not blame yourself, but not blame the other person either. Because you may be tempted to. You may feel a sense of bitterness about how the situation has transpired. And this is also a card of rebirth. So it may even be that the Five of Wands is a very lively relationship with another fire sign. So another Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. And you feel like you're kind of going through a rebirthing process. What challenges you is the Empress. And so we're going to look at it in the challenging position of the reversed card. And this would be, this is a feminine card. This is connected to Taurus and Libra. So if either one of those signs is, if there's a person of that sign in any capacity who is someone you have sparred with, then that person you might want to look at whether or not you want that person to be in your life. But the Empress in the challenging position could be a woman who is using her sexuality, her feminine wiles, in a negative way. She's trying to capitalize on them in terms of seducing, like a seductress type of an individual. So sometimes with the Five of Wands, it could be that you're dating someone and they're not willing to just be with you. They're like saying, I want to play the field, or, you know, because it could be like very early in the relationship and you're all ready to settle down. And they're like, nah, I want to see you, but I want to see other people as well. And maybe this is an ex of a partner who is like the mother of the person's child and is using sex or trying to use sex to keep that person, her ex, back into her life. And this is affecting your relationship with this person. Maybe it's causing conflict. I was thinking too that this could be a situation involving some kind of child support, that maybe the Five of Wands and the you know, with the Empress in the reversed position, maybe somebody's ex is kind of interfering and in some way, but also that maybe your partner or your soon-to-be ex, maybe that's why this person is going to be your ex or is already your ex, that they are that there's some kind of a conflict. Maybe you're being too in need of money, or their ex is in need of money. Something with the Empress, it could be very materialistic. So, so it could be something along those lines, and it's causing conflict. The higher message is the Temperance card, and this is about not getting out of control. It's about balance, and you know, isn't it funny? The word temper is in the word temperance, but it's kind of the opposite of temper. It's more like somebody who is on an even keel. And there is a lot of, we got some fire energy here. So even like, let's say you've met somebody and you feel this sense of renewal in your life. And I would say in that case that this Empress card is a card of about not using sexuality to lure somebody in hopes of having a relationship. You may be having a passionate affair, but lurking in the back of your mind is the desire for it to be a permanent relationship. And the other person may be just having fun. And you have to be willing to see the relationship for what it is. And if you're somebody who is like going to be crushed if this person is not willing to commit, then that wouldn't really be fair, because the relationship probably started physically very early on. And so when a relationship unfolds in that way, which is really not much of an unfoldment, then chances are it's going to remain an affair and not really turn into anything long-lasting. I mean, that's just how I feel, but it doesn't mean that that's going to happen 100% of the time. Temperance card is also associated with Sagittarius, which is one of the fire signs. So maybe if this person happens to be a Sagittarius, this is your angels kind of giving you a high five and saying, yes, this person is the right person for you. Oops, I don't know if while I was pulling that card, this is the advice, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card sometimes of like even, you know, relocation or staying put. So it's like a decision that has to be made, but it can involve sometimes two different careers. As I said, if you're in a dog-eat-dog environment, you may decide to work for yourself. You may just say that is something that is going to be a lot more, you know, serene. I don't need this drama in my life. And you may even, if you're dealing with somebody who is seeing other people, you may say, and I'm not talking about somebody who's cheating, I'm just talking about if you're dating and somebody else hasn't committed to you solely, that you might say, you might give them an ultimatum and say, you know, I'm not really interested in dating anybody who's seeing other people, so you either have to make me your only partner or we're through. But there might be like a fork in the road, career-wise or love-wise for you in the near future. What's coming in is represented by the Ace of Wands, and you can see that brilliant aura. And the colors involved are red and probably yellow. I mean, I know yellow, but I was thinking orange too. And those are kind of like the first three chakras. And especially with the yellow, that's like your power chakra. The Ace of Wands is a card of new beginnings that are very exciting, very passionate, and very much in alignment with you as an individual. So a new beginning with a fire sign, a new beginning in your own business, some sort of new thing that you're interested in. Maybe this is involving a course of study. This could be any kind of area in your life. But the important thing is that you're very enthusiastic about this. And you feel like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're excited to pursue whatever this thing is. And it's like at the planting the seed stage. So it's not necessarily that you're beginning doing it, but you're kind of coming up with these ideas. Now, I did pick an additional card because I did get as the outcome the Five of Swords, which is a card of sometimes deception and slander and things that lies. And so going back to the Five of Wands, these two cards go hand in hand. So in a workplace situation, you may find out that somebody that you are dealing with in the workplace is really bad-mouthing you, is doing something that is underhanded. And you might be like furious because you feel like it's not fair, they shouldn't be doing that, especially if somebody's lying about you or you uncover a lie. And so I mentioned a scenario where where your partner is putting you down because they're jealous of your success. And sometimes a another person will make accusations or put down their partner because it's covering up their own dirt, what they're doing in the relationship, some underhanded stuff. And so it's good to know when somebody is being underhanded, because then you realize what you're dealing with. So it's not necessarily bad at all. The 7th house is the house of open enemies. Oh, and then, and same with, something to do with an inheritance. You find out that somebody was lying, and that, is helpful for you getting what you want. But this might be like hidden enemies, so the 12th house. So I'm trying to think now. Well, it's funny because in November there is a transit of Cancer, where Cancer is going into your 12th house. Cancer's going in, not Cancer's going into your 12th house, the North Node in Cancer. And the North Node transit is going backwards. It's going clockwise. I think that's clockwise, isn't it? Yeah. And so it had been in your sign, and now it's going into the 12th house. And so all kinds of fated events regarding hidden enemies and karmic issues, spiritual issues can come into play. And maybe this is one of them, where you find these people that are trying to do something against you. But I feel like in this case, this is not about hidden enemies. This is about people that have already shown that they have animosity. So whether it's an ex-partner who is very uncooperative and unwilling to pay child support, or a coworker who you can tell is jealous because you got a promotion, they didn't, whatever. And so even though you may find proof for something, you probably already suspected it. And the other card that I picked to kind of clarify the thing is the Son of Swords. So that is going to be the Knight of Swords. So this is a card of a lawyer, and that might be, you might say, I've had it. I'm going to consult a lawyer. Now, I just told you that this could be a legal judgment, but it might just be, if you broaden it out, some kind of a legal matter. And maybe you have to hire your own lawyer. Maybe you're just kind of in on it with other people, but you realize that they are not being totally straight with you, like siblings. Or maybe you thought you could handle negotiations about child support without having to contact a legal representative, and now you realize you can't trust your ex, that they were kind of stringing you along or something along those lines. The Knight of Swords is also about being outspoken. Maybe this is even a person that you're dealing with. This is fire energy, fire and air. So again, I mentioned a sign like Sagittarius, but maybe it's somebody with a Sun in Sagittarius and a Moon in Libra or something like that that you're dealing with, that you end up with. And you have to triumph over some lies. Maybe this is from his ex, the Empress in reverse. Maybe she's spreading lies, and you don't know who to believe, but you end up believing this person. Because I feel like this, if this is the other person, the Knight of Swords, he's a very straightforward person. He's very blunt, and it can even be insensitive, but he's straightforward. You can trust what he says. He says what he means, and he means what he says. Okay, Leo, that's what I have for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Have an awesome November. Bye.